It was supposed to be just another night in Detroit. A late studio session, a few jokes, some beats, and that same brotherhood vibe that made the early 2000s legendary for hip-hop. But what 50 Cent didn't know was that this night would change everything he thought he knew about loyalty, about friendship, and about who really had his back when the fame got too real. The story starts long before the world saw Get Rich or Die Trying. Before Eminem and 50 became hip-hop's unstoppable force, back then, Proof, the heart of D12, was more than just a rapper. He was the glue, the quiet soldier keeping Detroit together when egos, fame, and money threatened to tear it apart. But behind the smiles and the interviews, there were whispers, tension brewing, trust being tested, and choices being made that could shatter everything. Fast forward to the moment 50 Cent finally found out the truth. A late-night call, a private meeting, and one secret that made him realize who was real and who was just riding the wave. Fans still argue about what really went down, but according to 50 himself, that night exposed something deeper than beef. It exposed real loyalty. And once he knew, there was no going back. It all started one quiet night in New York. The kind of night when 50 Cent usually stayed off the grid. No cameras, no entourage. Just him, a glass of champagne, and the city lights reflecting off his penthouse window. But that peace didn't last long. His phone lit up with a number he hadn't seen in years, a 313 area code. Detroit at first. He thought it had to be some promoter, maybe an old studio contact. But when he picked up the voice on the other end, froze him in his tracks. Yo, Fif, it's Proof. For a second, 50 didn't say a word. Proof. Eminem's Day One, the heartbeat of D12. The man who never cared about fame or cameras had been gone for years. This had to be some kind of sick prank. Stop playing, bro, 50 snapped. Who is this? The line went quiet. Then, that same calm, raspy tone came through again. I told you, it's Proof. I ain't got much time. But you need to know something about M, about what really went down. 50 stood up, the glass of champagne trembling in his hand. His security turned, sensing something was off. Yo, you hearing this? 50 said, covering the phone. Someone pretending to be Proof? But the voice didn't waver. It was too real. And that's when the message came. Check the drive. The one M never told you about. The studio in Ferndale under the name Shady Sessions 8. That's where you'll see who's real. Then the call dropped. Fans wouldn't believe this next part, but according to people close to 50, he didn't sleep that night. He called M's old manager, then one of Proof's cousins, trying to make sense of it. But every call ended the same way, dead silence or denial. So the next morning, 50 booked a private jet straight to Detroit. No press, no label execs, not even M knew. He touched down quietly. Just him and one security guard named Dre, a guy he trusted from day one. The car rolled through Detroit's east side. The cold air hit hard. The same streets that once birthed legends were now ghostly quiet. 50 looked out the window, half nostalgia, half disbelief. When he reached the studio, a rundown spot covered in graffiti, half forgotten by time, it was like stepping into a time capsule. Dusty plaques, broken speakers, and in the corner, a cracked photo of D12 in their prime. Then he saw it, a small hard drive wrapped in tape, labeled Shady Sessions 8. He grabbed it and plugged it into his laptop. For a second, nothing, just static. Then, suddenly, video footage, Proof, Eminem, and a younger 50 sitting in the background, laughing over a beat. But the laughter turned tense. Yo, Fifth Proof, said on the video. I know you think all this fame is solid, but watch who's clapping when you winning. Loyalty ain't in everyone's blood. Eminem looked uncomfortable. Man, don't start that now, Proof. You know I'd take a bullet for this dude. Proof smiled, that same half-grin fans knew him for, but his eyes told a different story. I know you would, bro. I just hope you still feel that way when the labels start taking. The clip ended abruptly. Then another one started. This time it was dated just a week before Proof's death. The camera was shaky, and it looked like it was filmed in secret. Eminem was arguing with someone off-screen. I told you to leave 50 out of this, M yelled. Then a voice replied, faint, but definitely Proof's. It's not that simple, Marshall. They're playing both sides. I'm just trying to keep him safe. The video cut off again. Woosher froze. His heart pounded. What did Proof mean by playing both sides? And who were they? The room felt colder. He looked around, half expecting someone to step out of the shadows, but it was just him and the echoes of something that felt too real to be fake. Back in New York, the news started to leak. Fans spotted 50 in Detroit. Rumors flew across social media. Wise, 50 in the D. Something happening with M. Proof's case reopening. By the time 50 returned to Manhattan, his phone was blowing up. Journalists, bloggers, even Shady Records insiders trying to reach him. But 50 wasn't talking. Not yet. He spent 2 nights going through the footage, frame by frame. The more he watched, the clearer it became. Proof had been protecting him and maybe even hiding something from both him and M. Then came the twist nobody saw coming. A voice memo hidden inside the drive, just 3 minutes long. Proof's voice again. If you're hearing this, then something happened I couldn't stop. 50M's real, don't ever doubt that. But there's someone else you can't trust. Someone close. Someone wearing the same chain as you. That line broke him, because only one other person had that custom G-Unit chain at the time. And that person wasn't M. 50 knew exactly who it was. But before he could confront anyone, the drive was gone. Someone broke into his condo that night. No signs of forced entry, no missing cash, no jewelry stolen, just the laptop and that one hard drive. That's when 50 realized whatever Proof was trying to warn him about wasn't over. It was still in motion. When 50 got back to New York, the city felt different. Every phone call sounded suspicious. Every DM looked like bait. Every person in his circle suddenly seemed like they were watching him instead of rocking with him. He'd been paranoid before, but this time it felt personal. Because Proof's last message wasn't random. It was a warning from the grave. And that line about someone wearing the same chain played in his head over and over again like a cursed loop. G-Unit used to be tighter than family. 50. Lloyd Banks, Tony Yeo, brothers, forged in the fire of the streets and the studio. They had survived shootouts, label wars, lawsuits, everything. But lately something had changed. There were leaks, missing files, and one shady deal that almost cost 50 $1 million. So, one night, 50 called a private meeting in his Queens mansion. No cameras, no press, just him, Banks, and Yeo. He wanted to look them both in the eye. Y'all know somebody broke into my place. He started, pacing the floor, didn't take money, didn't touch the chains, didn't even touch the watch case. They came for one thing. That hard drive? Banks frowned. What hard drive? Don't play dumb, 50 shot back. The one from Detroit. The one Proof left behind? Yeo leaned forward, confused. Proof, as in Eminem's Proof. Fifth, that man been gone? Yeah, I know he'd gone, 50 interrupted sharply, but he left something behind. Something he didn't want them to find. Banks shifted in his seat, his jaw tight. And who's them? Exactly. 50 stopped pacing. The silence was thick. He looked at both men, trying to read their faces. That's what I'm trying to figure out. For a minute, nobody spoke. Just the faint hum of the city outside. Then Yeo broke the tension. Look, bro, if someone took that drive, it had to be inside work. Ain't no random thief breaking into your spot without setting off alarms. That's when 50 said it. The line that sent chills through the room. One of us got played, or one of us flipped. Banks stood up fast. You really think it's me? Bro, I didn't say names. 50 replied, calm but cold. But Proof said someone close. Someone wearing the same chain. Both men glanced at their G-Unit chains. Identical to 50's. Suddenly, what used to represent loyalty now looked like a target. For the next few days, 50 kept his distance. He didn't post online, didn't answer calls, not even M's, but M noticed. After 3 days of silence, Eminem flew to New York himself. No security, no entourage, just him in a hoodie, walking straight into 50's studio. Yo, 5M said, stepping into the booth. You good? You been ghosting me? 50 didn't even look up from the monitor. I've been busy. With what? Paranoia, M joked, half smiling. 50 finally turned. Eyes serious. You know anything about that drive? Eminem's face went blank. What drive? The one Proof left? Don't act like you don't know, Marshall. You two were tighter than blood. M's jaw tightened. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Proof didn't leave me no damn drive. But 50 noticed something, the small twitch in EM's left hand. The same tell he had when he was hiding something during interviews. Man, come on, 50 said, standing up. I found footage. Him talking about you and me. A bootho. Somebody was trying to play both sides. Eminem took a step closer, voice low. You really think I'd do something to Proof? To you? To you? Bro, I don't know what to think anymore, 50 said, shaking his head. That message, it was too real. The room went silent. Both men just stared at each other. Years of friendship, fame, and history hanging in the balance. Finally, M sighed and sat down. Listen, Proof was working on something before he died. He never told me what, but he said it was bigger than rap. He said if anything happened to him, someone would find it when the time was right. 50 leaned forward. So you did know something? Yeah, M admitted. But I thought it was just him being paranoid. You know how he was always trying to protect everybody? Then 50 showed M the last message. Proof's voice, the one saying someone wearing the same chain. M froze. Wait, he said that? Yeah, then he wasn't talking about me, M whispered. He was talking about someone else. Someone in your camp? That's when M dropped a bombshell. A few weeks before Proof died, he told me he didn't trust someone around you. Said they were feeding info to Jimmy Iovini's office. 50's eyes widened. Feeding what info? M shook his head. He didn't say. Just said, watch the company you keep, especially when they smiling. That line hit 50 hard, because he remembered hearing it once before from Proof, back in 2003. Right after G-Unit signed their major deal, Proof had warned him that fame would bring snakes. Back then, 50 laughed it off. Now, it sounded like prophecy. That night, 50 did something wild. He called Yayo again, told him to meet at the same mansion, same room, no excuses. But this time he didn't invite Banks. When Yayo showed up, 50 played the voice memo again, watching his reaction closely. Yayo just shook his head. Man, that's crazy. Proof really left that for you. Yeah, 50 said slowly. But the crazy part is, someone took it after I found it. No break-in, no alarms. That means it had to be someone who had my access. Yayo looked confused. Bro, you got like 5 dudes with access. Me, Banks, the label guy, the maid service, and your tech guy. Woo sure, smirked. That's what I thought too. Until I checked the logs, he held up his phone showing a screenshot. Only one entry the night the drive disappeared. Guess who? Yoyo's face changed instantly. Don't tell me, Banks, 50 said flatly. Yayo stood up. Nah, that don't sound right. Banks wouldn't, but 50 cut him off. The cameras don't lie. He played a clip, grainy footage from his hallway security camera. It showed a figure hoodie up, walking toward his office. The timestamp matched the night of the break-in. Looked familiar. Ooh, sure, asked. Yayo leaned closer, squinting. Man, that does look like Banks. But why would he? That's what I'm about to find out. The next morning, 50 posted something cryptic on Instagram, a black and white photo of him and Proof. Captioned, some people talk loyalty. Others live it. Hashtag RIP Proof, hashtag real ones. No fans went wild. The comments exploded. Yo, what's going on with G? Is Fifth calling somebody out? This about Banks. That one post reignited every rumor, every whisper, every bit of tension that had been brewing in the shadows. And by that night, Banks had gone completely silent. Not answering calls. Not posting, not showing up to meetings. Something was definitely wrong. Then, out of nowhere, 50's lawyer got a message. A USB drive had been anonymously dropped off at the office. No note, no sender. The morning after that mysterious USB arrived, 50 didn't even wait for his team. He locked himself in the studio, blinds down, phone on airplane mode. Only the faint blue glow from his laptop lit up the room. The label on the drive read in Proof's messy handwriting, "If you're seeing this, the circle's cracked." 50 hesitated for a second before hitting play, then static. A few flickers of light, then Proof appeared on screen, sitting in a small recording booth. No jewelry, no hype, no crowd. Just him, a microphone, and that signature Detroit accent that fans never forgot. If you're watching this, you're already too deep, Proof said, his voice calm but heavy. This ain't about rap beef, this about survival. He leaned closer to the camera. Fifth M. Both of you built an empire, but somebody inside don't want it standing tall? They using us like pawns, labels, execs, suits and offices we ain't even seen. 50's eyes narrowed. He could almost feel the tension coming through the screen. Proof continued. It started when Shady Records blew up. They told me to keep you two separated. Said y'all energy was dangerous together. Said if y'all ever turned on them, the label would crumble. Then he said something that made 50 sit up. They offered me money, bro, to keep you two divided, to plant things, to feed little lies. I ain't take it, but somebody else did. The screen cut for a moment, then switched to grainy footage. Someone secretly filming a meeting in a dimly lit office. 2 silhouettes talking. One of them, unmistakably Eminem. The other blurred, but with a voice that 50 knew instantly. It was Banks. I just don't like how 50's moving. Man, Banks was saying, he treating this like it's just him. M replied, he's been through a lot, bro. You gotta give him space. But Banks pushed back. Nah, this ain't about space. It's about power. Proof said there's things you don't know about. Money missing. Moves happening behind your back. 50 paused the video, stunned. This was more than just tension. This was betrayal documented. Proof had been collecting receipts. He pressed play again. Proof reappeared, his face serious. I caught wind they was twisting the truth, making y'all think the other one was plotting. I tried to fix it, but I was already marked. He looked straight into the lens. If anything happens to me, just know I never switched. EMS solid and fifth. You already know who ain't. Then the video cut to black. 50 just sat there, silent, angry, shocked. The kind of silence that only comes when every piece of your world suddenly makes sense and none of it feels good. He stood up, pacing the room, fists clenched. They turned my brother against me, he muttered. When he finally turned his phone back on, there were 37 missed calls. Most from M, a few from Yayo, and one unknown number from Detroit again. He answered, "Fifth, you saw it, didn't you?" It was a familiar voice. Older, raspier. One of Proof's cousins. Tone, "Yeah," 50 said slowly. "I saw it all. Proof was playing chess while we was stuck playing checkers." Tone sighed. "He tried to warn y'all. He knew too much. After that last week in Detroit, he told me, if they get me, tell 50 and M to watch the ones closest." 50 asked, "You saying Banks was involved?" Tone hesitated. "I ain't saying that, bro." But Proof didn't trust him after that meeting. He said Banks was too close with a certain label exec, someone who used to handle royalties. "That's all I know." That night, 50 finally called M. "Yo, you seen the footage?" "Yeah," M said, his voice low. "I watched it 3 times. That ain't no deepfake, bro. That's proof for real." For the first time in years, 50 and M talked like brothers again. No lawyers, no managers, no headlines. Just 2 men who lost someone who had been their glue. "Proof was the realist," M said. "He's the reason I even met you, bro. He's the one who told me to sign you. Without him, there's no us." "I know," 50 said quietly. "And now it feels like the only one who saw the full picture is gone." M took a deep breath. Maybe not. Proof was smart. If he left one drive, there's probably another. Dude always made backups. That clicked. 50 instantly called Dre his tech guy, not Dr. Dre, and told him to trace any recent activity connected to old shady studio backups. Within hours, they found something. A secure cloud file registered under an alias, PD12_truth. When they accessed it, it asked for a passcode. 50 tried birthdays, album titles, even Proof's old passwords. Nothing worked. Then M said, "Try the year we met, 2002. Bingo. The file opened. Inside was one document, a transcript. Proof had written a full confession-style letter before he died. It started simple but got dark fast. "To my brothers, I know when this drops. I might not be around, but don't let them twist the story. The industry tried to turn y'all into enemies because they can't control loyalty. They fear what's real. 50. You're the muscle, the one who don't bow to nobody. M, you're the heart, the one who feels it all. And me, I'm just the messenger. There's a deal being signed behind your back, a joint venture that cuts you both out. I seen the contracts. Someone from inside leaked your masters to the execs. And that someone? He used to wear your chain." 50 froze reading that line. "Again with the chain?" I confronted him. He denied it. "But the next day, my brakes got cut. If I go, just promise me one thing. Don't let them rewrite what we built. Keep it real, keep it raw, keep it us." The last line hit like a gut punch. EM's voice cracked. He knew, bro. He knew he wasn't safe. 50 slammed his hand on the desk. "And the person who leaked this? They still out there? Still walking around free?" But before they could say anything else, 50's laptop froze. Then the screen glitched. The file deleted itself automatically. "What the?" M shouted. "Yo, what happened?" "Somebody's hacking in," 50 growled. "Proof's file just wiped itself. That means whoever's behind this is still watching." The 2 locked eyes through the FaceTime call. "Bro," 50 said, his voice low, "we ain't dealing with street beef no more. This is industry espionage." M nodded slowly. "Then it's time we expose them." That was the moment the exact 150 later said in interviews was when he knew who was real. Proof and M weren't just brothers. They were the only ones who ever played for the same team. Brothers. They were the only ones who ever played for the same team. Everyone else, questionable. That night, 50 called his videographer and told him to set up cameras. "I'm gonna tell the world everything," he said. "But first, I'm gonna smoke out the snake." The next 48 hours were chaos. 50 barely slept. Every news outlet, every blog, every hip-hop forum was buzzing. 50 Cent and Eminem investigating Proof's secret files. G-Unit Snake exposed? Even TMZ tried to get a statement. But 50 stayed silent. He had a plan, and this time it wasn't about revenge. It was about proof, for proof. He told no one except M and Dre, the tech guy. "I'm gonna bring the snake into the light," he said. "Let them think, I don't know. Let them walk right into the trap." So he set the stage. He rented out a private studio in Manhattan, supposedly to film a G-Unit reunion special. Cameras, lighting, champagne. The whole thing looked innocent. He sent invites to Banks, Yayo, and a few shady records heads. Everyone thought it was a nostalgia piece for YouTube. But behind the scenes, every mic and camera was live streaming directly to 50's encrypted cloud. That night, everyone showed up. All smiles, fake laughs, hugs for the cameras. Banks looked cool but uneasy, rocking the same diamond G-Unit chain Proof had warned about. "Yo, Fifth," Banks said, dapping him up. "You really bringing the old gang back?" Woosher smirked. "Yeah, man. Just like old times." The drinks flowed, the lights dimmed. Everyone loosened up except 50. He just watched, observed, waiting for the perfect moment. Then he called for a toast. To the ones who stayed solid, he said, raising his glass, and to the ones who showed their hand when they thought nobody was looking. Banks froze. Yayo looked confused. "What you talking about, Fifth?" 50 turned to Banks. "You want to tell M, or should I?" The room went dead quiet. Banks laughed nervously. "Bro, you trippin'. What's this about?" 50 reached into his pocket and pulled out a small flash drive. "This," he said, holding it up, "is from Proof." He plugged it into the big screen. The footage from the missing Detroit drive started to play Proof's confession. The blurred video of the meeting with Banks and M, the message about someone wearing the same chain, everyone's eyes were glued to the screen. When the video ended, 50 turned slowly. "You had access to my house. My cameras got my files. You said you didn't know anything about that drive. So explain this." He clicked a button. On the screen, a still image from his home security footage, the hooded figure entering his office, the same build, the same chain. Banks stood up, voice shaking. "That's not me, bro. That's somebody trying to frame me." 50 stepped closer. "Then why did you drop off that USB at my lawyer's office?" "What?" "Yeah," 50 said coldly. "You thought I wouldn't trace it. IP address matches your manager's studio. You tried to play cleanup, didn't you? Delete Proof's files before they got out." Yo-Yo's jaw dropped. "Yo, Banks, tell me this ain't true." Banks slammed his glass down. "You'd think I'd cross you for them suits? For a bag? Man, I've been loyal since day one." "Loyal?" Woosher shot back. "You was loyal till they dangled a check. Proof warned me before he died. Said the snake would smile in my face and steal my story." The tension was nuclear. Cameras caught every second, because that was the plan. M stepped in then.com, but deadly serious. "We ain't here to argue. We just want the truth. Did you meet with those execs or not?" Banks looked around, every eye on him. The pressure cracked something inside. "Yeah," he finally admitted, voice trembling. "Yeah, I met them, but I didn't know it was gonna go that far. They said Proof was paranoid. Said they just wanted copies of some unreleased tracks. I didn't know it was gonna mess with y'all." 50 shook his head. "You knew exactly what you were doing." Banks's voice rose. "Man, they was offering life-changing money. I was tired of being in your shadow, Fifth. Always number two, always the quiet one. You had everything, the deals, the headlines, and I got crumbs. They said they'd make me the next big thing if I helped restructure G." There it was, the confession. Raw, ugly, heartbreaking. For a long time, nobody said anything. The cameras kept rolling. 50 finally spoke, his tone low. "You could have just asked, bro. Proof tried to protect all of us. And you helped bury him?" Banks's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't mean for him to get hurt, but the damage was done." 50 turned away. "Cut the cameras." M looked at him. "You sure?" "Yeah," 50 said quietly. "We got what we needed." The next day, 50 released the footage. Not the full version, just enough to make the world question everything. He dropped it as a mini-documentary titled "Loyalty Ain't Free: The Truth About Proof." Within hours, it went viral. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everyone was talking. Banks betrayed 50. Proof was protecting them from the industry. Eminem knew more than he said. The comments were insane. This the craziest plot twist in hip-hop history? 50 really out here dropping a Netflix-level story? Proof was the realest one. R.I.P. legend, but behind all the noise, the truth hit deeper. M called 50 later that night. "You did the right thing, bro. Proof would have wanted it this way." Woosher sighed. "I just wish it didn't take losing him to see who was real," M said softly. "He knew. That's why he sent you that message. He wanted you to know me and him were real to the end." For a long time, 50 didn't say anything. Then he whispered, "Yeah, I finally believe it." He looked up at the old photo on his studio wall. Him, Proof, and M, smiling at a D12 show in Detroit. Years before fame, money, and betrayal changed everything. That's when he posted one final message online, a black and white picture of that photo, captioned, "Real, recognizes real." Proof saw the truth before any of us did. Some bonds don't die, they just get louder. Hashtag RIP Proof, hashtag loyalty over legacy. The post exploded, millions of likes, thousands of comments. Fans flooded the internet with tributes, edits, theories. Some said 50 planned to drop a full documentary. Others claimed there were still hidden files left by Proof, waiting to be uncovered. Whatever the truth was, one thing became clear. This story wasn't just about music. It was about betrayal, legacy, and the kind of loyalty you can't fake. And for 50 Cent, the man who'd seen it all that night, it wasn't just about finding out who was real. It was about remembering why he started. Because, in a world full of snakes, sometimes the realest thing you can do is keep your circle small, your heart guarded, and your loyalty loud. Yo, if you still here right now, you felt that. This ain't just another rap headline. This is real-life loyalty and legacy colliding in the dirtiest game there is. The industry. 50 didn't just expose a snake. He honored Proof's name. He proved that loyalty ain't measured by years, fame, or how long you've been around. It's measured by how real you stay when nobody's watching. And what we just witnessed? That was Proof's message echoing from the grave, reminding everyone that truth don't stay buried forever. You can fake your image, you can fake your streams, but you can't fake energy. Proof's energy. Still shaking the game right now. But here's the craziest part. This might not even be over. Word on the net is that there's still one more encrypted file Proof left behind. Something only 50 and M have access to. Rumor says it could change how we see the entire shady era forever. So yeah, if you thought this story was wild, stay tuned because what's coming next might make this look like the calm before the real storm. Drop your thoughts below. Who do you believe? Minus 50, Banks, or Proofs? Ghost still telling the truth? And do you think M's gonna speak out publicly next? Or keep it all behind the scenes? Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell, because when this next chapter drops, you don't want to be late. This is your boy, bringing you the stories they don't want you to hear. Until next time, stay real, stay safe, and remember, in this game, stay safe, and remember, in this game,